upon a time, in a small town, there lived a girl called Nkechi. She was the most beautiful girl in the town and came from a very wealthy family. However, she had a big problem. She was incredibly arrogant. Nkechi's father, Mr. Okeke, was the richest man in the whole town, and Nkechi loved showing off their wealth to everyone. She thought she was better than everyone and never gave them the time of day. As time went by, Nkechi's beauty continued to shine. Suitors started to come and ask for her hand in marriage, both rich and poor, princes from far and near, but none caught her attention. One day, as Nkechi was walking through the village market, a stranger caught her eyes. He was unlike anyone she had ever seen before. With an air of misery surrounding him, his eyes gleamed with a radiant light, and his voice carried a melodic tone that echoed through her being. Her curiosity was piqued, and she approached the stranger with caution. "Good day, sir. I have not seen you in our village before. May I know your name?" she asked. The stranger smiled warmly. "I am Dike from the Iyenu kingdom. I have observed your devotion to finding true love. I have come to offer you a love that surpasses mortal boundaries, a love that will transcend time and space." Nkechi's heart fluttered with both excitement and apprehension. She had only heard about this type of love in novels, and nobody had ever proposed this type of love to her. "All the suitors that came to ask for my hand in marriage are not even as handsome as this young man," Nkechi thought to herself. A sense of destiny washed over her, urging her to embrace this unique opportunity. After a while, news spread throughout the town that Nkechi had chosen a suitor, and people were surprised and wanted to know who was lucky enough to catch Nkechi's eyes. But when they heard that he was from the Iyenu kingdom, they were confused because nobody had heard of that kingdom before, not even in the neighboring town. Nkechi's parents were happy at first when they learned that their daughter had chosen a suitor. But later, they started worrying when they heard where the man came from. Even Nkechi's father, who had traveled far and wide, had never come across that kingdom before. They tried talking her out of the marriage, but Nkechi had already fallen in love with Dike and made up her mind to marry him. She didn't want to hear what anyone was saying about him. On the wedding day, all the villagers were present to see this man who had captured the almighty Nkechi's heart. After the wedding, Nkechi bid farewell to her parents and the village that had been her home for so long and started her journey to her new home. As they journeyed through lush forest for days and nights without food or drink, Nkechi grew tired and started asking when they would arrive because there were no houses or people around. All Dike would say was, "We will get there soon," without giving any further details. Nkechi noticed that Dike didn't talk much now, unlike the first time they met. Even when Nkechi tried to initiate conversation, Dike would only listen without a word. After many days in forest, surviving on forest fruits, they arrived at a place with a big river and no boat to cross. Next to it was a small hut and nothing more. Dike headed towards the small hut, and Nkechi was surprised and asked him why he was going there. But Dike's reply surprised her even more. He told her that this was her new home from today. Nkechi's heart sank because it was nothing like she had imagined her new home to be. Dike instructed Nkechi to make herself at home while he went to visit some friends and return something he had borrowed from them. As soon as Dike left, Nkechi looked around the small hut, but found nothing noteworthy. She sat down and cried bitterly, reminiscing about her parents and their advice to not be carried away by love. But it's too late now, she said to herself, realizing she didn't even know the way back to their village. While contemplating what to do, someone suddenly walked into the house. Nkechi was so scared that she let out a scream. It was a strange man with only one eye, one ear, one hand and one leg. Nkechi gathered her courage and asked who he was. The strange man replied, "I am Dike, your dear husband." Nkechi couldn't believe her eyes and exclaimed, "God forbid! How can you be Dike? I don't believe you." The strange man chuckled and calmly said, "I am Dike. I have returned what I borrowed from my friends, and this is my true appearance." Nkechi was overcome with fear and fell off her seat. Dike assured her not to be afraid, and she would get used to his appearance with time. Filled with regret for her actions, Nkechi made up her mind to find a way to escape that night and return home to her parents. As night fell, she couldn't sleep. At midnight, when she noticed Dike was in a deep sleep, she quietly snuck outside and ran as fast as her leg would carry her. She ran and ran, but all she saw was the vast forest, with no one to turn to for help. Days passed, and Nkechi continued wandering in the forest. She grew tired and lost, not knowing which way to go. Just when she was about to lose all hope, she spotted an old woman struggling to lift a heavy load. Nkechi's heart leaped with joy, and she ran towards the old woman. When the old woman noticed her, she asked, "My daughter, what are you doing alone in the middle of the forest at this time of the day?" Unable to hold back her tears, Nkechi broke down and poured her heart out to the old woman. She shared everything that had happened. The old woman sympathized with her and told her to help carry the load to her house. Nkechi struggled with the heavy load, as she had never carried something so heavy before, and she was also tired and hungry. After walking for a while, they arrived at a hut in the center of the forest. Nkechi was astonished to see this and asked the old woman why she lived alone in the forest. The old woman then shared her tragic story. It turned out that she was from Nkechi's neighboring town called Amokwe. She was a well-known herbalist with the power to heal people simply by laying her hands on them. People will often seek her out for treatment. However, one day, something terrible happened. All of her family members died mysteriously. Her son, his wife and their children all succumbed to a strange illness, and she couldn't heal them. Devastated and grief-stricken, the villagers accused her of killing her own family to gain more power and wealth. They labeled her a witch and banished her to the evil forest, forgetting all the ways she had helped them. Since then, she had been living in isolation in the forest. For the first time in her life, Nkechi felt true pity for someone. She reflected on how she had treated people in her town and felt remorse for her past actions. The next day, the old woman guided Nkechi to the edge of the forest and showed her the way home. Nkechi was immensely grateful and asked the old woman how she could repay her kindness. The old woman chuckled and replied, always be kind to people, Nkechi made a heartfelt promise to the old woman, vowing to change her behavior and never look down on others again. When Nkechi finally reached home, she confessed everything to her parents and sought forgiveness for not heeding their advice. From that day onwards, she transformed her behavior and embraced a life of kindness and humility. She learned to treat everyone with respect, regardless of their background or social status. Nkechi realized that true beauty lies in one's character and actions, not just physical appearance or wealth. Nkechi's parents were overjoyed to see their daughter's growth and the genuine remorse she displayed. They welcomed her back with open arms, forgiving her wholeheartedly. The family reunited stronger than ever. The moral lesson of this story is that kindness is important. It shows that being arrogant and thinking you are better than others is not good. This story teaches us that true beauty comes from our actions and how we treat others. Thank you for watching our video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video. Bye.